You're watching Prudent.
नमस्कार. आयच्या ह्या खाशेल्या ब्रॉडकास्टात तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. तुमी पळयलां आसतलें आमी सत्याग्रह करतात आनी एक करपाचो कोणाचोच विचार नाशिल्लो. लागीं खंयचेच सत्ते खातीर इलेक्शन नाशिल्लें आनी दनपार मेरेन तर अशी परिस्थिती आशिल्ली की फुडली एक 3-4 म्हयन्यांनी इलेक्शनाचो किंवा कोड ऑफ कंडक्टाचो कांय बोवाळ ना. दनपारां हायकोर्टाची ऑर्डर जेन्ना आयली तेन्ना अकस्मात लक्षांत आयलें की इट इज नॉट ओन्ली की सरकाराक फुडल्या 45 दिसां भितर 185 पंचायतींची इलेक्शनां घे म्हूण सांगल्यात हायकोर्टान. जाल्यार ताज्याकय मुखारतून सांगलां की फुडल्या 3 दिसां भितर स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशनाक कन्सल्ट करात आनी नोटिफिकेशनय काडात म्हणून. जजमेंटाची कॉपी आतां मेरेन आमी रावल्या इतल्याच कारणां खातीर, कारण जशें तुमकां याद आसा फाटले खेपेक जेन्ना म्युनिसिपालिटीची इलेक्शना बाबतींत असोच घोळ जालो तेन्ना हायकोर्टाची जी ऑर्डर आयिल्ली ती प्रचंड सामकी अशी उग्र आशिल्ली. आयची ऑर्डरी भितर कितें आसा तें पळोवपा खातीर आमी राविल्ले. कांय वेळा पयलीं हायकोर्टाची ही ऑर्डर आमच्या हातांत आयल्या. तातूंत भितर कितें बरयलां, स्टेट गव्हर्मेंटाक डायरेक्शन कितें दिल्यात, ही पंचायत इलेक्शन्स कशी जातली, कित्याक लागून ती पोस्टपोन जाली म्हूण सरकारान सांगलें, स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशनान सांगलें आनी हायकोर्टान तें कित्याक मानून घेतलें ना. ह्या सगळ्या गजालींची आमी चर्चा करतले. ह्यो सगळ्यो गजाली तुमच्या मुखार हाडटले आनी 2 मानेस्त म्हाका जॉयन जातात. पयलीं जातात म्हाका स्टुडियो भितर आमचे लिगल आनी क्रायम रिपोर्टर मुकेश कुमार. मुकेश वेलकम. आनी दुसरे म्हाका ऑनलायन जॉयन जातात स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशनाचे आदवोगाद जांणी हायकोर्टा भितर ही बाजू मांडल्या ते एडवोकेट शशिकांत जोशी. सो वेलकम. मुकेश, आय विल स्टार्ट विथ यू. वेन यू लुक एट दिस ऑर्डर quickly, what are your main observations? We'll take them and then we'll go point by point. But initially, what are your main observations with respect to the order? You heard the arguments also in the court of both the sides from last 2 days. What do you make of this order?
So there were 2 petitions filed. One petition was filed for Sukur Panchayat, which term was expired on 18th June. Another petition was filed for the Anjuna Panchayat, whose term will expire on 7th July. But petitioners were asking to direct the state government and state election commission to hold the election before the expiry. So both the petitions have been disposed of by a common order. And in this order, the High Court has directed Goa government to issue notification within 3 days from today in consultation with State Election Commission to hold this election within 45 days. One more thing was there. The petitioner from Sukur Panchayat had challenged the appointment of administrator. So High Court has dealt that issue also, and the High Court has said that there is no necessity to direct to quash the appointment of administrator, but there is direction that administrators must, however, take no policy decision or expend panchayat funds other than the routine matters. So that matter has been dealt. But
no, I think that matter has also been dealt is because High Court has given directions to hold the elections within next 45 days. Well, otherwise, High Court also mentions in the order that the pleadings and grounds are sufficient to quash the appointment of the administrator and the deferring of the elections contrary to the constitutional mandate. However, now that we propose to issue a mandamus, it is not required, because you are anyway asking them to hold elections in 45 days, so quashing that order might not be technically necessary. शशिकांत बाब, हांव डायरेक्ट तुमचे म्हऱ्या येता. ऑर्डर पळयतकीर तुमकां कितें दिसता? वील गो पॉयंट बाय पॉयंट, बट युअर ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स एज फार एज द डायरेक्शन्स ऑफ द हायकोर्ट आर कन्सर्न.
ज्या वेळार ही मॅटर हायकोर्टात आयिल्ली, पिटिशनरचे आर्ग्युमेंट जाल्या उपरांत हायकोर्टात जेन्ना इलेक्शन कमिशनाचो काउन्सिल म्हणून म्हाका प्रश्न विचारिल्लो, ताका हांवें सांगलें की ओरिजिनली आमी 29 तारखेक इलेक्शन घेवपाचो प्रयत्न केल्लो. तेजे उपरांत 4 जून, 11 जून, तेजे उपरांत 18 जून आमी डिफरंट डेट्स आमी सजेस्ट केल्ल्यो. प्रत्येक वेळेला कितें जातालें, जेन्ना हे प्रयत्न केले गेले इलेक्शन कमिशना कडल्यान प्रत्येक वेळाचेर हायकोर्ट गव्हर्मेंटाचो रेस्पॉन्स काय केला आशिल्लो. अल्टिमेटली ह्या सिच्युएशनात रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शेवटी कशें आशिल्लें की दे अंडर इन टर्म्स ऑफ रूल 10 द नोटिफिकेशन गव्हर्मेंटान इश्यू करचे पडटा फॉर द होल्डिंग ऑफ पोल्स. सेक्शन 15 रूल 10. पण ते नोटिफिकेशन जेन्ना गव्हर्मेंट करिना त्या वेळाचेर इलेक्शन कमिशन कुड नॉट गो अहेड अँड कुड नॉट डिक्लेअर अ शेड्यूल. सो दिस इज वॉट नाव द हायकोर्ट हॅज डायरेक्टेड की तुम्ही विदिन 3 days that notification has to be issued and त्याच्यातून it will follow up immediately with two things. One is reservation of wards in case of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and women. ते notification काढचे पडटले आणि त्या उपरांत entire schedule of elections also will be issued by the state election commission.
पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट जर वचपाक जालें श्रीकांत बाब जाल्यार दोन मुद्दे आशिल्ले. एक म्हळ्यार रिजर्वेशनाचो. नंबर वन, हायकोर्ट हॅज डेल्ट विथ दॅट बिकॉज हो सगळो बोवाळ जो सुरू जाल्लो तो सुप्रीम कोर्टाच्या ऑर्डरी लागून ऑन ओबीसी रिजर्वेशन आनी टायम ना सफिशियंट, डेटा ना सफिशियंट, ह्या गजालींवरून सुरवात जाल्ले. हायकोर्टाची ऑर्डर जेन्ना हांव वाचता आनी वॉट मुकेश इज ऑल्सो टेलिंग मी की अकस्मात पावस म्हणटा तो एक फॅक्टर आयलो की पावसाच्या दिसांनी इलेक्शनां नाकात म्हणून ऑल्दो द टर्म ऑफ द पंचायत इज गेटिंग ओवर. हाव हायकोर्ट हॅज डेल्ट विथ बोथ दीज इश्यूज? 4 तारखेपासून 11 तारखेपासून 11 तारखेपर्यंत पावसाचा इश्यू खंयच नाशिल्लो. खंय तरी 25 तारखेच्या दरम्यान फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम ती नोट गव्हर्मेंटा कडल्यान इलेक्शन कमिशनाक आयिल्ली. त्यांच्यानी पहिले फावटी स्पेल आउट केले की मॉन्सून अप्रोच जाता सो इलेक्शन पोस्टपोन करा पुढे. तोपर्यंत हो इश्यू काय नाशिल्लो. 4 तारखेक इनफॅक्ट नाव दे क्लेम दॅट दे हॅड एग्रीड टू होल्ड द इलेक्शन्स ऑन 4. सो तोपर्यंत तरी काय नाशिल्ले. त्या उपरांत नवा इश्यू नंतर त्यांच्यानी ऍड केला. तोपर्यंत ह्याचो मॉन्सूनाचो कांयच इश्यू नाशिल्लो. पण हे सुद्धा कित्याक की डेट पोस्टपोन डेट घेणं आवश्यक आशिल्लें की हायकोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्टाची ऑर्डर आशिल्ली इन केस ऑफ सुरेश महाजन वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश. थंय सुप्रीम कोर्टान म्हटलां की नो बडी इन्क्लुडिंग लेजिस्लेचर, पार्लमेंट, this court or no other court or no other authority can postpone the panchayat elections, and election commission is duty bound to hold the elections before the term of the existing panchayat gets over. So ह्या सिच्युएशनात चान्स नाशिल्लो इलेक्शन्स कंडक्ट करपाक आवश्यक आशिल्लें आनी त्या दृश्टीनच हायकोर्टान ऑर्डर पास केले. दुसरो आशिल्लो तुमी म्हणटा ते रिजर्वेशनाच्या बाबतींत, कारण आय एम ट्रायंग टू अंडरस्टँड हाव दीस सॉल्व्स द प्रॉब्लेम ऑफ इनसफिशियंट डेटा अँड इनसफिशियंट टायम. how are you going to deal with the issue of reservation now? जर सरकारच म्हणटा आपल्या कडेन sufficient data ना to demarcate the OBC reservation, how is that process going to be now?
नाही, ओबीसी रिझर्वेशना बाबतीत ती जी मेन जजमेंट आसा विकास कृष्णराव गवळीची सुप्रीम कोर्टाची जजमेंट आसा. त्या जजमेंटात तेंच्यांनी बरयलां की एम्पायरिकल डेटा कलेक्ट करचो पडटलो. वॉर्ड वायज रिझर्वेशन दिवना जाल्यार कितले दिवचे पडटले. बाबा रिझर्वेशन दिले जाल्यार ताचो इफेक्ट कितें, दिवना जाल्यार कितें, आनी रिझर्वेशन कोणाक दिवपाचें हेचेर डिटेल एम्पायरिकल डेटा कलेक्ट करून तो एनालायज करून मागीर रिझर्वेशन दिवपाक जाय. पूण तेंच्यांनी ट्रिपल टेस्ट फॉलो केल्या. ही ट्रिपल टेस्ट करून इलेक्शन घेवपाक जाय आशिल्लें. पूण आज स्थिती अशी आसा की म्हणून त्या उपरांत based on which certain states started providing for reservation. ही सुरेश महाजनाची मॅटर, सुरेश महाजन वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश, ही जेन्ना सुप्रीम कोर्टात आयली त्या वेळार ही 10 मे ऑर्डर आयली. सुप्रीम कोर्टान कितें व्ह्यू घेतलो की जर ट्रिपल टेस्ट जायना जाल्यार रिझर्वेशन तुम्ही ओबीसीक दिवं नाका, आनी ओबीसीक रिझर्वेशन दिवपाक लागून तुम्ही इलेक्शन पोस्टपोन करूंक शकना. सो व्हॉट दे सेड in that order itself that you convert all those seats which are meant for OBC into general and conduct the elections. त्यावेळेला सुप्रीम कोर्टान हाय व्ह्यू घेतला. त्यावेळेला त्या ऑर्डर सुप्रीम कोर्टान म्हटला की जर प्रोटॅगनिस्ट रिझर्वेशनाचे आशिल्ले ओबीसीचे प्रोटॅगनिस्ट आशिल्ले, let them I tell you that let them provide for it, let them put their own candidates. I'll just read out that relevant portion. It was urged that the population of OBC in some of the local bodies is more than 50%, and for that reason, the percentage indicated in the report submitted by the Commission is also a conservative approach and needs to be taken forward. That cannot be the basis to disregard. This is a constitutional observation. This cannot be the basis to disregard the constitutional mandate and a need to observe triple test procedure indicated by this court. The political parties who claim to be the protagonists of the parties of the participation of OBC in the governance of the local bodies are free to nominate candidates belonging to OBC category in the concerned constituencies and even against all general seats available after reserving the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. We do not wish to dilate any further on the plea under consideration. So ह्या सिच्युएशनात सुप्रीम कोर्टान हो कन्सिडर केला फॅक्टर ट्रिपल टेस्ट तुम्ही फॉलो करून करपाक जर जायना तर डोंट प्रोवाइड फॉर ओबीसी रिझर्वेशन पण त्या ग्राउंडचेर इलेक्शन पोस्टपोन करनाका फक्त त्या जजमेंटान आनी एक बरयलें की शेड्यूल कास्ट शेड्यूल ट्रायब हेचे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मॅन्डेट आसा रिझर्वेशनाची दॅट रिझर्वेशन यू हॅव टू डू अँड यू हॅव टू गो अहेड विथ द इलेक्शन्स.
Mukesh, I want you to come in because there is one very interesting paragraph on page 37 which refers to the affidavit filed by the Directorate of Panchayat. And the affidavit states, हांव वाचून दाखयता इतल्याच कारणा खातीर की कळपा खातीर on page 37 is a very interesting affidavitaतलो पार्ट आसा की on account of the rains there are chances of the paper being spoiled or the ink being smudged when the voter handles the ballot paper while voting in the election. आणि ताजेर immediately High Courtaचे observation आसा with respect to the director we think that this trivializes the constitutional mandate described by the Honorable Supreme Court as inviolable. Do you think, Mukesh, as far as this the part of the order that you can see on the screen, this argument of rains की पावस लागता म्हणून आमी इलेक्शन पोस्टपोन करता म्हणून हो जो एक आर्ग्युमेंट आसा कारण जनरली हांव कित्याक म्हणटा की युजली सरकाराची भुमिका अशी आसता की पावसाच्या उपरांत कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट नाका. If a code of conduct happens during monsoons, it is better because पावसाच्या दिसांनी anyway developmental works जायना. Here government has taken a contrary view की पावस आसा ink spoil जातली paper spoil जातली. Do you think, Mukesh, this argument of rains जे कोर्टच म्हणटा की this trivializes the whole issue went heavily against the government?
Definitely yes, because when this petition was filed, that time rain was not there, and when the government notified the decision to postpone the election, the primary reason was given the lack of time to notify the reservation by State Election Commission due to various reasons. But now when the hearing happened this week, so it was raining heavily, so I don't know how this decision was taken, but state government was primarily focusing to justify the deferment of election on the ground of monsoon and heavy rainy season. So High Court was also surprised because they were saying that election will be held on ballot paper and that can be spoiled due to rain. But High Court did not think that it should be addressed, but government can obviously take measures to protect those ballot papers. But I don't know, on the contrary to going ahead with the issue of reservation, they took the defense of this rain.
There is one more very interesting aspect of Joshi Baba की सरपा सोदता की on page 31 the order says that a correspondence on record suggests that even the State Election Commission dragged its feet by seeking unnecessary clarifications from the state government. म्हण तुमकां कितें दिसता जेन्ना सुप्रीम कोर्टाची ऑर्डर आयली ऑन ओबीसी रिजर्वेशन टेबल टेनीस सुरू जालें स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट आणि स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशना मदीं आणि ह्या टेबल टेनिसा मदीं टायमूय गेलो डेटूय गेली आणि लास्टाक लोक कोर्टा पावले. डू यू थिंक या मुकेश या
I just want to add because I was hearing that arguments also. State government and AG himself said that we are being projected as villain in this matter.
Okay.
But
by the State Election Commission.
By the State Election Commission, but they are hiding the fact that we were also ready to notify the election date for 4th June. But that time Election Commission did not give consent. So and later on it was postponed for 11th June. So State Election Commission is passing the buck on the state government. So AG was saying that before rainy season, before it could start, means first week of June, election could be held, but State Election Commission was not ready.
जोशी बाब तुम्ही कशी पळयता ह्या गजाली कडेन?
जेन्ना स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट पोस्टपोन करता असो अंदाज आयलो, बेसिकली रिझर्वेशनाचे प्रपोजल, सेकंड प्रपोजल की ओबीसी जे रिझर्वेशन आशिल्ले ते जनरल करपाचे आणि इलेक्शन कंडक्ट करपाचे, ही फायल जेन्ना गव्हर्नमेंटान विथहोल्ड केली, तिचेर काय रेस्पॉन्स काय येवना, त्या वेळाचेर इलेक्शन कमिशन शुड हॅव अप्रोच्ड द हायकोर्ट. दॅट इज माय पर्सनल व्ह्यू इन द मॅटर. आणि मॅन्डेमस मागपाचो फॉर इश्यूइंग द नोटिफिकेशन. कारण हा सगळो घोळ कित्याक जालो जाल्यार गव्हर्नमेंटान नोटिफिकेशन इश्यू करूं ना म्हणून, आणि ते प्रेस करपाचें सोडून हायकोर्टान स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशन वेंट ऑन करस्पॉन्डिंग ऑन रिझर्वेशन्स. आता रिझर्वेशनाक लागून इलेक्शन पोस्टपोन करपाचो इश्यू नाशिल्लो. एससी एसटीचे जर, कारण हायकोर्टान तोच व्यू आता घेतला की SC ST consultation is required. Reservation, delimitation, reservation requires consultation with the state government. Consultation means कितना? You send the file. If they don't agree, what are you going to do? That is a specific question High Court asked me. And त्यावेळेचेर हांवेन High Court reply दिलो. If they are not cooperating, we will go by the what we feel right, because as a constitutional body, we are required to conduct the elections at time. So, yeah, situation, we would go ahead with the reservation and conduct the elections. One, as far as date of notification is concerned, in terms of Section 15, Rule 10, remedy available to the State Election Commission was to approach the High Court. And that is what is said in number of judgments. Who judgments are issued? If either High Court doesn't, cannot get relief in the High Court, come to the Supreme Court. Also, Kishan Singh Tomar पासून ही सुप्रीम कोर्टाची जजमेंट, त्या उपरांत आमच्या बॉम्बे हायकोर्टाचे कितलेशे जजमेंट आसा इश्यूचे. So we should have gone, election commission should have gone to the High Court and asked for mandamus.
Mukesh, one
basically also caused a delay in holding the elections.
Because one point which is for me is a very serious statement, it is there in the order where the High Court says that we find that the respondents, and it is the respondents, all the constitutional bodies that we are talking about, that we find that the respondents have acted not only in breach of the constitutional mandate, but they have also not followed the directions of the Supreme Court. हे हायकोर्ट म्हणटा. आणि जेन्ना हो प्रश्न येता की एकच पंचायत किंवा दोनूच पंचायती हायकोर्टाक गेल्यात, त्या दोगूच जाणांक आमी इलेक्शन कशें घेतले, हो जेन्ना आर्ग्युमेंट सरकारा कडच्यान येता, तेन्ना हायकोर्ट सांगता, नाव इफ द कॉमन रिजन फॉर पोस्टपोनिंग द पोल्स, व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट, नाव इफ द कॉमन रिजन फॉर पोस्टपोनिंग द पोल्स to all such panchayats and thereby defying the constitutional mandate is found to be unsustainable, the constitutional court will have to order the respondents to hold elections for all 186 panchayats whose terms have since expired or are about to expire. हे सामकी इम्पॉर्टंट की कोर्टाक जरी फक्त 2 पंचायतींचे रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह किंवा पंच गेले असले तरीकय हो मॅटर फक्त 2 पंचायती पुरतो न्ही. जर या 2 पंचायतीच्या बाबतीत सरकारान अनेक जे ग्राउंड्स प्रेझेंट केल्यात ते जर अनसस्टेनेबल आसात, अँड इफ दे आर वायलेटिंग द कॉन्स्टिट्युशनल मॅन्डेट, जाल्यार हो न्याय फक्त या 2 न्ही जाल्यार सगळ्या 186 पंचायतीक सारको लागू जाता. आणि म्हणून ह्या जे 2 जाण जरी कोर्टाक गेले असले तरी ह्या सगळ्या पंचायतींचे इलेक्शन घेवपाचो ऑर्डर हायकोर्ट म्हणून आमी दितात अशें ह्या ऑर्डरीत म्हणा. मुकेश, व्हॉट डू यू मीन? या शशिकांत बाबू, या गो हेड. या
ही एकूच पिटिशनाची ओरिजिनली आमकां नोटीस आयिल्ली स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशनाक संदीप पजरकराची,
हय,
ऑफ इंटिरियर डिपार्टमेंट पंचायत. हायकोर्ट आस्क्ड मी अबाउट द इलेक्शन्स ऑफ धिस पंचायत.
या
It is myself as a advocate of the State Election Commission. I pointed out to them, it is not one panchayat. सगळ्या पंचायतीचे 186 village पंचायतीचे election जावपाचे उरला, and these are the circumstances. And I complained for the first time to the High Court that the election should have been held. Dates आम्ही केल्ले efforts आम्ही High Courtaक सांगले, आणि सेक्शन 10 रूल 10 नोटिफिकेशन यांचे इश्यू करून नॉमिनेशन करू ना म्हणून इलेक्शन जावना. तेका लागून इट इज दॅट इट वॉज अ टर्निंग पॉइंट वेर ऑल पंचायत इलेक्शन्स वर डिस्कस्ड.
जो न्याय ऐकल्याक तो न्याय सगळ्यांक,
कितें म्हणटा तुम्ही?
जो न्याय ऐकल्याक तो न्याय सगळ्यांक म्हणटा.
हय, कारण इम्पॉर्टंट कॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू मी ऑल्सो पर्सनली एज वेल एज अ एडवोकेट फॉर द इलेक्शन कमिशन, I felt that yes, elections सगळ्या पंचायतीचे जावपाक जाय. Why alone one panchayat? कारण ही पंचायत and it is the mandate of the state election commission to ensure that the elections are done in time within the time frame which is specified. So that was I was required to explain it to the court. So then instead of one panchayat, I explained it for all the panchayats. So म्हणून त्या petition एक दोन तीन पंचायती जरी आशिल्ल्यो तरी पण it got converted into the all 180
Absolutely.
186 panchayats.
Mukesh, how do you look at both these things? Number one, that serious observation in the order that we find that the respondents have acted not only in breach of the constitutional mandate, but they have also not followed the directions of the Supreme Court. And then High Court goes ahead and says that it is not only about one or two panchayats. आणि जशी जोशी बाबान सांगलें की तांणी नदरे हाडून दिले हायकोर्टाच्या की इट इज अबाउट ऑल दी पंचायत्स एंड देन हायकोर्ट व्हेरी क्लियरली मेन्शन्स की जो न्याय एकल्याक किंवा दोग जाणांक तोच न्याय सगळ्यांक सो सगळ्यांची इलेक्शनां घेयात म्हणून. हाऊ डू यू लुक एट बोथ दीस व्हेरी व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट ऑब्झर्वेशन्स?
Of course, High Court has observed that constitutional mandate has been breached by a constitutional body itself.
Yeah, this is very, very, very serious thing.
And High Court has also noted that Pramod, not it is for the first time in last 2 decades. During every four election has happened. Every time election could not be held on the scheduled date.
Yeah.
So High Court has also mentioned that it doesn't mean that BJP is in power or earlier Congress. Everybody failed to.
Successive governments have failed.
Successive government have failed, and the one reason High Court itself has noted that there are no reported instances of any action against those responsible for breaching the constitutional mandate. It self explains that there is no way to punish the culprits. That's why these things is happening for continuous fourth time this time.
Yeah, and High Court also mentions that even in the last case, High Court had to give directions to give the powers of reservation and rotations to the State Election Commission, and only after High Court's direction state government acted on it. So प्रत्येक खेपेक आमकां लक्षांत येता की कोण तरी कोर्टांत वता, कोर्टांतल्यान डायरेक्शन्स घेता आनी मागीर गजाली चालीक लागतात. नाव लेट अस कम टू अ व्हेरी व्हेरी क्रुशल ऑपरेटीव पार्ट ऑफ द ऑर्डर ऑन द पेज 43. जो सगळ्यांत म्हत्वाचो आसा, जंय म्हाका दिसता आमकां जोशी बाब आनी मुकेश दोगी जाणांची ऑब्जर्वेशन्स विल बी व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. पयली गजाल जी आमी सुरवातीक उलयल्यात की एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स अपॉयंट करपाची ऑर्डर हायकोर्ट एकाच गजाली खातीर कॉश करना की आमी आतांच इलेक्शन घे म्हणून सांगलां. सो ती आनी ऑर्डर कॉश करपाची गरज ना, फक्त एडमिनिस्ट्रेटरांनी इलेक्शन जाता मेरेन पॉलिसी डिसिजन्स घेवची न्ही ही गजाल. बट हायकोर्टान व्हेरी क्लियरली म्हळां की ऑन द बेजीस ऑफ द कंक्लुजन्स हायकोर्ट हॅज अरायव्ड एट ही ऑर्डर इज फिट फॉर कॉशिंग म्हणून तेंय सांगलां. नाव लेट्स कम टू द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग. For all the above reasons, and this is the second last paragraph on page 43. For all the above reasons, we quash the state government's decision to postpone the elections and direct the state government to issue a notification under Rule 10 of the Election Procedure Rules appointing the date for holding of elections to 186 panchayats in the state. Very clearly we quash the state government's decision to postpone the elections. म्हणजे इलेक्शन फुडें धुकलपाचो राज्य सरकाराचो जो निर्णय आसा तो हायकोर्टान काडून कुशीक उडयला. दुसरी गजाल, नोटिफिकेशन अंडर रूल 10 ऑफ द इलेक्शन प्रोसिजर रूल्स 1996 टू होल्ड इलेक्शन्स जंच्यान स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशन वील टेक ओवर, ते नोटिफिकेशन इशू कर म्हणून सांगलां. तिसरी आहा, दीस हॅज टू बी डन, द नोटिफिकेशन हॅज टू बी डन विदीन 3 days फ्रॉम टुडे. सो बस आनी एक 8 दीस बसून हाजेर विचार करया बी अशी ना, ही फुडल्या 3 दिसां भितर ही ऑर्डर हे नोटिफिकेशन काडात हें सांगलां. विल गो टू द सेकंड पार्ट लेटर. शशिकांत, तुम्ही या गजाली कडेन कशें पळयतात? 3 दिसां भितर ऑर्डर आणि वॉट हॅपन्स नाव वन्स द नोटिफिकेशन इज इशूड, वॉट हॅपन्स देन? स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिशनाचो ताजे उपरांत रोल कितें?
दोन गजाली जातल्यो. वन्स द नोटिफिकेशन इज इशूड, फर्स्ट इज रिझर्वेशन ऑफ SC, ST एंड विमेन, ते नोटिफिकेशन येतलें आणि त्याच्या ऑलरेडी ती फायल ऑलरेडी गव्हर्नमेंटाक गेल्ली आसा. गव्हर्नमेंट हॅज बीन कन्सल्टेड, गव्हर्नमेंट हॅज नॉट सेंट दॅट फायल बॅक और गिवन इट्स ओपिनियन. So without waiting for any further opinion, election commission will notify the reservations. This is the first time, and immediately thereafter High Court, I'll tell you, state election may wait for some time, and thereafter they will declare the schedule of elections. आता हे कित्याक लागून सांगतात? The some time lag between reservation notification and a notification regarding schedule of election, they may give some time.
Yeah.
So that if anybody is agreed with the reservation, if they have any grievance about it, that can also be considered by the concerned parties and how they have to get it redressed. त्याच्यात थोडंसं टाइम मेळटलो.
Yes.
हे दोन खातीर पळयतले कारण रिजर्वेशन नोटिफिकेशन आयल्या उपरांत we require minimum 20 days time to conduct the elections. 20 days आम्ही हायकोर्टाकडे 30 दीस मागल्यात. हायकोर्टान आमकां 45 दीस दिल्यात. याचा अर्थ असो की we have to keep some time lag. That is, election commission has to keep some time lag between the reservation notification and the schedule of elections.
So
तो भाग असतो.
just to clarify, Shashikant, just
you have to also print about 8 lakh ballot papers. So automatically schedule of election त्यांना declare जाता. Some more time can also be given for campaigning. So all these calls will be taken by the election commission on merits.
एकच क्लॅरिफिकेशन बिफोर वी गो टू द फायनल पार्ट. शशिकांत, तुम्ही म्हणतात की नाव स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट विल नॉट वेट फॉर द ओपिनियन ऑफ द स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट.
Election commission will need
State election commission will not wait for the opinion of the state government any longer on reservation.
Honorable High Court has recorded.
So आता आणि वाट पळोवप ना.
आम्ही वाट पळोवपाची गरज ना. If they send the file with their comments, it's fine. It will be considered. But decision ultimately will rest in the state election commission.
जर तांणी डिले केलो तुम्ही रावचे नात.
रावचे ना. Election commission will not wait anymore.
Election commission will not wait anymore. Very very crucial last पार्टाचेर वता आणि जो परत इम्पॉर्टंट. The concerned officers of the state government must confer with the SEC and appoint the precise date for holding elections. However, the state government and the SEC must ensure that the elections are held and completed no later than 45 days from today. A writ of mandamus is issued in the above terms. I think very categorical, very clear. We करात एकमेकाक consult, date ठरयात, but that date should not be later than 45 days. Mukesh, it looks like High Court has not left any legroom for the state government or the state election commission to operate otherwise now.
Absolutely.
Yes, at least we can say that election now cannot be postponed on the for the rainy season or ballot paper will be expired. It is duty of a state government to make all the arrangements keeping in view of rainy season or Goa's weather. So this is clear-cut direction, and also it is power of state government to notify the election dates in consultation with state election commission. So it is clear-cut that both state government and state election commission will perform their duty and complete the election within 45 days.
Shashikant, final comments. तुमको दिसता High Court has not left any legroom now for both the authorities. You have to go ahead as per these very precise directions and hold the election. हांव परत लोकांक सांगता, election before Independence Day जातले. It is तुमकां जर टायमलायन कळपाक जाय, that is the timeline. Before Independence Day पंचायत election जावंकूच जाय is the order of the High Court. Yeah, Shashikant.
Yes. हायकोर्टाच्या ऑर्डर प्रमाणे इलेक्शन्स विदिन नेक्स्ट 45 days जावपाकूच जाय. That is the order. And एकूच ताका एक्सेप्शन आसतले unless the state government decides to challenge this order in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
We not know that we will come to know only by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Again, because they are claiming monsoon is the reason. They may refer to Maharashtra order is a benefit given. They may try to do something. But this order, if it is binding, then entire election process has to be completed within next 45 days. Whereby the even administrators will go, everything will go, and new panchayat bodies will come into.
हांव म्हणजे वेळ सारको सोंपला, हांव इतल्याचेर थांबता. बट म्हाका दिसता शशिकांत बाब, यू आर ऑल्सो देर ऑन द पॅनल when government went against the High Court appeal in the Supreme Court last time, and we all know what happened. So अपील करता काय ना स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट, होय प्रश्न आसा. जर अपील करतात जाल्यार ती बातमी घेवन आमी तुमचे म्हऱ्या येतले. बट एज ऑफ नाव, एज इट स्टँड्स एट दीस पॉयंट ऑफ टायम, हायकोर्टाच्या ऑर्डरी प्रमाणे 15 ऑगस्ट इज द लिमिट. म्हणजे इंडिपेंडन्स डेच्या पयलीं आमगेले पंचायत इलेक्शन जावंकूच जाय. स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्टाक वता काय ना, हे पळोवचें पडटलें, कारण फाटलो अनुभव म्हाका दिसता सगळ्यांकच याद आसा. आमीच सगळे जाण त्याय ऑर्डरीची एनालिसीस करताले तेन्ना, आनी ती ऑर्डर सुप्रीम कोर्टाक वतकीर कितें जालें तें आमकां खबर आहा. सो वेदर स्टेट गव्हर्मेंट वील टेक अ पोजिशन टू अपील अगेन्स्ट दीस ऑर्डर or accept this order and go ahead with conducting the elections in consultation with State Election Commission. हे पोवचें पडटलें. Till then, this is what it is. ह्या ऑर्डरीची विस्कटावणी करून तुमचे मुखार साद्या सोप्या भाशे भितर हाडपाचो प्रयत्न आशिल्लो, बिकॉज ही अत्यंत म्हत्वाची ऑर्डर आहा विथ मेनी सिरियस ऑब्जर्वेशन्स आनी इम्पॉर्टंट डायरेक्शन्स. शशिकांत जोशी बाब, मुकेश, थँक्स अ लॉट फॉर जॉयनिंग मी. म्हजो वेळ सारको सोंपला. पळयत रावात प्रुडंट. नमस्कार.
थँक्यू.